It's a big, giant rock and roll show happening at the Belasco Theater. I'm playing Hedwig from East Berlin, rock star, chick-ish, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be fun to be on Broadway. I saw John do the show originally at the Jane Street back in '98, I think, and was really overwhelmed just by how committed he was to this part. It left a real strong mark on me because I knew him from other things. So to see him be this committed to someone who is so feminine and in a sort of punk rock way was inspiring. And so I can't believe, 15 years later, that I'm doing it myself.
You know, we did this show a long time ago, in the late 90s, and it had a really wonderful run, and we did the show without any intent, just to, when we first did the show, we just wanted to tell this story. John wanted to make this character, John and Stephen, and there was no talk back then of Broadway.
The material was too out there. No one wanted to hear rock music. We had empty theaters that rejected us. We had to build our own theater. It was just there was no possible way to bring it to Broadway. And since then, there's a lot of shows that have been influenced by what we did. It seems like the country and the culture and the Broadway thing has moved in a direction that allows us to do it. People are willing to actually hear rock music on a stage and still pay the money for the ticket. That's changed, and that wasn't the case when we did it before.
I never watched the original and thought, I've got to do that. But I thought after having spent almost a decade doing a real alpha male-y kind of role on TV, that I wanted to do something in theater, and this seemed like such a departure and yet such a challenge for me in a bunch of different ways, physically and emotionally and in a live venue way. It seemed like a good rock and roll move.
I've known about the show for a very long time. I saw the original production at the Jane Street. It was one of those experiences where you leave and you're like, I love it so much. You're crying. You're like, it was so good. So when I heard it was coming to Broadway, I was like, I really want to go in and audition for this part. And I was just, in my head, I was like, I'm either going to go bold, or I'm not going to get it. I'm going to go for it. Craziness. I want to surprise them 10 times in my audition and really make it hard for them to say no to me.
There really is nobody like Hedwig. And yet, over the course of the evening, the stories that Hedwig tells and the emotions that she expresses through the songs are things that people can really identify with.
A human being who wants to be seen for who she really is, who's looking for recognition, who's looking for love, and trying to find the missing half of her person.
I guess I feel responsible to not suck, but that's more just me protecting myself. It's really good material. It's really funny. It's really emotional. There's a band. It's a big show, and I want to make sure that I'm giving it the attention that it deserves.